So recently I dropped a video pretty much explaining the SMMA roadmap from zero all the way up to about $400,000 a month. And I got a comment that was asking me to just share my knowledge. I totally understand where the person's coming from, but they're completely missing the point. And most SMMA owners miss this point too, again, myself included when I was early on. And I mean, completely missing the point. Now, on this channel, I don't talk too much about the outreach script that's getting me X number of leads per month, or me giving away my exact sales script. And I may do that in the future for views, I don't know. But in my opinion, this right here is the number one thing that completely ruins new or relatively new or amateur agency owners. So this is actually a very serious topic. A lot of people don't want to listen to this stuff. That's why a lot of people don't do well. So if you do listen to this and you actually follow this and understand just this one concept or idea, it can make a huge difference for you. That's a lot of what I do on my channel. I just give you one thing that will help you a lot. Instead of giving you what you think you need, I give you what you actually need. So I'm going to give you a comment that I drafted up in response to this guy and kind of break it down for you while I read it out. So I said, if I gave you all the secrets to my business, you would just screw it up. And aside, that is completely true. If I told you every single thing, how to do it all, without the stuff that I talk about in these YouTube videos, you would screw it up. And even if I gave you all the information, you'd screw it up because you wouldn't know how and when to implement everything. It's like trading in the stock market. If I told you when to buy, you wouldn't know when to sell. If I told you when to sell, you wouldn't know when to buy. And that's why 99% of people lose out when they start out in the stock market, right? Whatever the percentage is, a large percentage of people lose out when they go into day trading, for example, because it's easy to pick a point to buy, but picking a point to sell is a totally different story. And if I told you every single little intricate detail about when you should be selling something, you're going to need to learn how to use all of those little details and variables to your advantage. And it's going to take you a very long time to learn how to use them all individually, let alone together, in order to reliably buy and sell profitably. Even then, the best traders lose a very high percentage of their trades. It's just that the ones that they do win make up for all the losses and some. The same is true in business. If I just gave you everything, you'd screw it up. It takes time to get good. And you'd also not know how to use all the stuff together. And it's like, for me to really give you what you need and have you never need help from anybody ever, it's borderline impossible, because there's so many little unique situations that you're going to run into that other people are not necessarily going to run into, and that maybe I haven't run into, although that's a little bit less likely. That I could give you everything and you'd still screw it up because you're new. Like, if you've only been at this for 6 months, 12 months, a year and a half, that kind of thing, like, there's a good chance you would just screw it up. A really good chance. So what I'm doing here is giving you the foundations that you need in order to receive an outreach script that worked. And you can go and pay like so many different people to just get an outreach script that works. It's not hard to do. The reason people pay these people and then don't do well is because they're missing all the things that I talk about. So to continue with the comment, understanding this type of material is more important. Clarity of vision is everything. And respectfully, clearly you don't understand the value of this information, but that's why my channel exists, to educate people on what is truly important in growing a business. For example, clarity of vision. You know, in that video I was talking about the roadmap of what needs to happen. If you don't know where you're going, how are you supposed to get there? People will say this stuff and it may sound blatantly obvious, but most people don't do this. Most people don't know where they're going, right? If you don't know where you're going, how are you supposed to know what to do when you have an outreach script that works? That's why a bunch of people will get something that works and then switch and go do something else, like I did a bunch of times. I'm guilty of this. That's why I'm saying this so harshly. I was doing all of this stupid stuff when I was starting out. That's why I'm making this video right now explaining this is incredibly common. It's not just this one person. I'm not saying this person's an idiot. I'm saying most people are like this. And they just don't know what's important. How are you supposed to know what's important in learning piano when you don't know how to play piano, right? It's the same thing. Back to the comment, take a look at any entrepreneur who's built a massive company. They knew exactly what they wanted and exactly what needed to be done in order to achieve that thing. And to drive this point home, I'm working with a guy who makes just shy of $1 million a year right now, and even he needed clarity when working with me, right? So don't underestimate these videos, this information. If I were in your position, I would legitimately take notes. handwrite, take notes. I talked about that in another one of my videos. Actually do it, because the information sticks in your head better. And how many people are actually going to do that? Almost none. So if you can do that, you're setting yourself ahead of pretty much everybody, right? And this is the problem. People don't know what's important. They think they know what's important, and that's an easy way for me to get views. You know, my top video is how I work 13 to 14 hours a day in my agency. It's like, cool, but all you need to do to get to that point really is just get way too many leads and way too much business, and then you're forced to work that much. But people are like, whoa, that's so crazy. I want to learn how this guy does that, pretty much. And so that gets a lot of views. And I did give some pretty valuable information in that video, don't get me wrong. But yeah, you know, it is important, but still. So everything on my channel is foundational to the ads, the outreach, etc. Like when I was in university my first year, I was like, why are they teaching us this garbage? It is so boring. It's so easy. It's so stupid. Just get me to the more exciting parts of this course or this program. And I was very impatient and very bored with all of it because it was easy. But the fundamentals are important. That's why people say fundamentals first. This is a huge mistake that I personally made. Again, I'm not trying to like talk to you from a pedestal. Like, this is a mistake that I made, and it made things take so much longer than they needed to for me. So that's why I'm sharing it with you now, because if you can learn from my mistakes, there's a shortcut, right? Like half the time when you're buying a course from somebody, they're just like, here, do this. Oh, I screwed that up. No, do this instead, right? Or like, I saw that guy screw that up. Here, do this instead. And you're like, oh, okay, this is that. Don't do this. I'm not saying you don't need outreach scripts that work. Obviously you do, but just copy pasting somebody else's outreach script doesn't do any good for you. They eventually stop working, so you're eventually going to need to learn how to make them yourself. Whoa, another foundational topic or idea, right? So everything on my channel is more important than ads and outreach scripts and other tactical info. That stuff's easy. Nobody talks about the stuff that actually matters, yet I give away for free, and most people miss the point. This content is more valuable than most course content I've ever taken. You just don't realize this from your inexperience, and I totally respect it. I was the same way. I'm not saying this to rip on you, I'm saying this because it's the truth, and I never realized it when I was starting my agency. If I knew all of this, I would have been significantly more successful and happy in half the time. My advice to viewers is to literally take notes while watching my videos. I get comments all the time about how my content is underrated, gold, and more valuable than a 5K course I bought. True story. I get those comments for a reason. So you can take this comment personally, or you can trust me when I say this is more important than some outreach script. I opted to make a video instead of sending this comment to this person. I just said, clearly you're missing the point, that's all I really said. But I bought a $12,500 program recently, and like half the stuff they're talking about is this high level, like important information. If you saw the course content, you'd be like, whoa. One of the videos is like, first off, the course content in total is like a few hours throughout the entire program. No word of a lie. The course content the first week is like 45 minutes of videos. And like a lot of the videos are 10 minutes talking about like the concepts. Everything that I make videos about. I'm not ripping that content, those concepts and making videos about it. But like, this is an extremely sophisticated program, and they're still talking about these fundamental things. This guy has built 900 sales teams. He's worked with the gurus before the current SMMA gurus and the current SMMA gurus. And this is what they're talking about. And I want to be very clear that everything I talk about is original unless I'm telling you otherwise. Like I had a video idea that I ripped from my engineering buddy from his channel. And another fundamental idea is the idea of originality. I'll make a video on that in the future, so stick around for that, because originality is so important, and that's why I don't watch other SMMA creators on YouTube, because I'll get into that in another video. But you need to trust me when I say this stuff is important. So take these videos very seriously. They can change your life and change your business in the long run. You know, spend a week watching my videos and writing notes. How hard is that, right? There's course content that isn't even out there in most cases, right? So I'll leave you with that. See you in the next one.